Hi, I'm Peter Orker from Peter Orker Piano Tuition. Thanks for joining me for today's A to Z of piano composers and pianists. And I've reached the letter D today. So, our composer is Claude Debussy, who lived from 1862 until 1918, but is one of the most influential piano composers of the last 150 years or so. Debussy is so often described as impressionist, rather like the painters, people like Monet and Renoir and so on. However, he actually hated that term, he disliked it and didn't like to think of himself as an impressionist. Even so, it's true that his music does display a lot of the characteristics of impressionism. Depiction of nature in broad brush strokes, imaginative and subtle use of colour, and a strong structure underlying what seems to be an unfocused appearance that's deceptive in its complexity. Somehow he managed to translate a lot of these characteristics into musical terms. And with Debussy, the overriding characteristic, the thing which our ears probably latch onto most, is colour. But how can you achieve colour in music? Surely colour is a sight thing, not a hearing thing. Well, you can get an impression of colour through the careful use of the musical elements, louds and softs, musical texture, and for Debussy, using familiar musical devices in an unconventional way, which is one reason why he was so influential on the 20th century music. I mean, here's one example. Triads are chords that are normally used functionally, in other words, to drive the music towards the establishment of a definite key or tonality. A triad is a three-note chord, for example, G, B, D, played together, give a triad of G major. And in a song like Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman, it's unequivocally in that key, as you'll hear from this bit from the chorus. However, with Debussy's use of triads, for example, in a piece called The Sleeping Soldier from a ballet called The Toy Shop, he uses the same kind of simple triads, some major, some minor, but in a completely different way to create an impression of colour. Let me just play you a little bit of that. That's just the opening, but you can hear how it uses these simple triads: F major, A flat minor, F major, G flat major, E flat major, but they are used in this colourful way, not to create a feeling of key. In one of his most famous pieces, Clair de Lune, which translated as Moonlight, is of course all about light and colour, Debussy teases us by combining the two approaches. He begins non-functionally by using chords mainly to thicken a melody line, but then in a while he presents us with quite a conventional kind of cadence a little way in, which firmly establishes the key at that point as D flat major. There it is, we're in the key of D flat major at that point. However, it goes on later in the piece to create more colours by putting together conventional triads with some mild dissonances like this. Well, that's just a very brief look at some of the characteristics of Debussy's piano music. There are many more, and if you just search for Debussy piano music on YouTube, you'll find plenty of examples. Well, thank you for watching today, and don't forget to give us a like and a share. And if you want to find out more about my piano lessons, online piano lessons, then either go to peterorker.net, or you can actually book lessons right here from Facebook page. And my next video will be on Tuesday for Tuesday's tip for better piano playing, and I hope to see you then. Thanks very much. Goodbye.